Hi, Pete from Best Clean, aka the Disaster Master. So we're at this premises today that suffered extensive water damage while the owner was away with a hot water cylinder leak, and it's spread through a lot of the house. And the previous guys that came in here didn't realise that the joists under the floor and the flooring was very wet, so the carpets and that were dried, but it was really wet underneath. So what's happened is the builders have come in, and because of the damage it caused, they've removed the walls and the ceilings and the flooring, because the flooring was gone, but the joists are still a bit wet. So actually it was getting 60% out of the joist, so that was really wet. And rather than put a heap of dehumidifiers and just blowing air around in here and trying to dry it, because we haven't got this area contained, we've got a lot of our efforts leaking out through the roof in the building. So what we've done is we've sealed off the area underneath the subfloor here, and we're concentrating our drying efforts where they're needed, not drying the whole house. We're drying that area that's required. So what we do, and I'll just give you an example, we use some calculators that we can work out evaporation potential, which is really important to us. So initially we had 63.9% humidity under there. It was 15 degrees, the temperature of the joists, and the air temperature at that time was 13.5 degrees. So that gave us a drying of evaporation potential of 0.73. So now when we've come in, we've gone from 63.9% humidity down to 46, so that's a significant drop. Air temperature, instead of 13, we've gone up to 28, and surface temperature have gone up from 15 to 27. So in effect what that means is given us an evaporation potential of 1.83, which is more than doubled the evaporation potential initially. So we would have liked to have more equipment in there, but this house is very limited with its power supply. We've only got two circuits to play with in the board. So we've got a heat boost under there, a heat boost over there, so two heat boosts. We've got a Drymatic 2 under there, and we've put up this tent. So what that allows us to do is we can actually leave that area underneath the tent open so we can gain access to the timber, which enables us to take readings so we can see how we're progressing each time. So I'll just give you an explanation of the equipment got. We've got a dehumidifier in there as well. So we've got that little access port in there, and what the dehumidifier does, it's drawing the moisture from under there, but then it's pumping that dry air into our Drymatic 2, which then heats the air and pumps the air back underneath the flooring. And then we've got two intake hoses under there, and they're going to different areas. And when that accumulates that moist air under there, expels it out of an outlet we've got out of the tent. So it's drawing that moist air out and pumping dry air in there, and the heat boost bars are warming it up even more. So we're getting a much greater evaporation potential. So we're getting some really good results here, and it's something that a traditional dehumidifier and a fan in this situation, it'd just take too long and it just wouldn't be efficient. But this is a super quick way of getting it dry by concentrating it on that one area where it's needed. So it's not needed everywhere else, everything else is all right. So there's no point in trying to dry the whole building, especially in those conditions. This is the way to concentrate it and target that area that we want to dry. I'll give you a look at the tent inside so you can see what sort of setup we've got in there too. So as you can see, we've had to cover the floor in here to contain our efforts as well. So this is the flooring here that we've had to seal off. Oh, better not tread in between the joists, that's a bit dangerous. Okay, so I don't know whether you'll be able to see, but down in there we've got our heat boost that's been run by a fan, and we've got another one in under there. So we're generating really good drying conditions down in there. And then if you have a look here, I'll just open this tent up and you'll be able to see, once I get it up, you can see exactly what we've done around the area. So here we've got our access down into the subfloor. We've got our dehumidifier working away beautifully, and there's our outlet exhaust that's gathering all the damp air from underneath and exhausting it out the side. So in this case we've really confined the area that we want to target, and that gives us great results and gets the builders back in here and doing what they need to do.